Good morning. Can everyone hear me? Yes. All right, great. Thank you. Thank you for being here and for sharing a few mindful moments together before we launch into a day of learning and sharing to kick off the new academic year. While the music got me going this morning, I want to say that I'm going to ask you to take it down and ground as a small group here before we get launched into the day. And first of all, I just want to thank you all for making the choice to be here early. We all know you could have slept in another half hour. You could have had a leisurely breakfast or another cup of coffee, read a few more emails, but you're here and we're here together. So to start, I'd like to actually ask you to do something that we in the advancement team do together at the beginning of all of our team meetings. And at first, I have to admit that my team thought I was a little bit crazy when I asked them to do what I call arrive. So we're going to arrive together in the room, and I don't mean physically. I mean, we all know that we're not physically in the room and that we're here virtually, but I mean arriving with your focus and your presence, your awareness and attention. So though you took the action to be here, you may still be thinking about what it took to get on the call, all the technical things we were working out this morning, what's happening after the call. And I'll just say that that is absolutely human nature to be in the past or in the future. And I'm asking you just to be here right now. So I'm going to ask us all to take a minute. You can close your eyes or you can keep your eyes open, but pick a focus point. And we're going to stop, we're going to pause, and we're going to take a few deep breaths together to fully arrive. So if you'll just start to breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and out. Last one. In. Whew. Are we here? I hope so. It's a little bit difficult talking one way. I'll just assume that we're getting into the flow here this morning. So first of all, I just want to remind us all that yesterday was fall equinox, and that's an important moment where there's an equal amount of daylight and darkness. And it's a balance point that marks a point of change. Of course, it's the change of seasons, and it will start getting darker. The days will get shorter until the solstice in December. And the request I have of you all today, as we go into the shorter days and we go into a lot of sessions where there can be a lot of positivity, but also maybe some negativity, is that you bring your presence and your light and your open mind to every interaction, and to be aware that our interaction and our presence and the way that we interact with each other individually and as a group has an impact on each other and on the day. So as leaders, we take on a greater responsibility for setting the tone and the energy in the room. Now, it might not be significant to you back to the equinox that given the intensity and the disruption of the times that we're living in right now, that this is an important point. But what I will say to you is that no matter what's going on externally, reflecting on our inner balance amidst the change is more important than ever. And so I'm going to ask us all, I know that, we're in different states of environment here, and you can do this on a piece of paper, or you can write a note on your computer or write a note after, but I want you to focus on what your intention is for today, your individual intention. And I'm not talking about goals. I want you to think about how you want to feel and how you want to think when you walk away from the session at the end of the day. That could be that you're inspired, that you have a more open mind, that you feel good about your interactions, that you feel like you've impacted the group in some way, sent a message that was powerful, received a message that was powerful. But I'm just going to be quiet for about 30 seconds, while you take a moment to focus your attention and set your intention for the day. Alrighty. I hope you found a word. If you didn't, it's not the end of the world. You can wait till after we get out of this mindfulness moment to do that. But please do that. I think it's very important as we set out on a day of activities that you are focused on your personal intention. And if you'd like, an intention for the entire group, since we are leaders here gathering this morning. As we do have this moment of mindfulness, I'm going to just, for those of you who are not used to meditating or feel like it's uncomfortable to focus on your breathing, I'm just going to ask you to try. And I'm going to take us through a quick mindfulness meditation. I say quick because, meditations can go on for minutes or hours in the case of certain people who are devoted to it. But I'm going to ask you to take about 3 to 5 minutes here while we walk through what I call a very ritual-based mindfulness meditation. So I know that we breathed and we arrived in the room. What I'm going to ask you to do is take your awareness even deeper. So find a comfortable sitting place. That may not mean moving, since maybe you want to still be in front of the camera, even though I can't see you. But sit in a position that enables you to both be relaxed and alert, whatever that means to you. Or you can decide that you want to be upright, correct your posture, whatever feels comfortable to you in this moment. I want us to start by taking some deep breaths again and focus on the energy and relaxation that you can bring into your body. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be quiet, but I'm going to guide us through this. If you'll just take a moment, breathe naturally, and bring a very gentle attention to your breath. You can bring your attention to your nose, your abdomen, or the entire volume of your breath, whatever that means to you. Become aware of your in-breath, your out-breath, and the space in between. If you want to go a little bit further, if you like, you can think of this exercise as resting your mind on your breath. Visualize your breath to be a resting place, a place of safety, a cushion, if you will, that's very gentle, a place where you can just be. If you feel distracted by sensation, a thought, a sound, just acknowledge it, experience it, and then very gently let it go. Bring your attention very gently back to your breathing. As we close this meditation, I'd like to invite you to just steep in that feeling of calm. and invite you to enjoy the inner peace as you come back into the room. Breathing in, I am calm. Breathing out, I smile. In this present moment, I am present, and it is wonderful. So I want to thank you for your attention, and more than that, your awareness. And as we go into the day, I would say that as I reflect personally on everything going on around us, I realize how easy it is to get distracted and to focus outward. And as a person who's worked for many academic institutions and nonprofits and worked alongside people trying to make the world a better place, I would say it's easy to fall into the trap of trying to fix everything outside of us. And as a leader and as part of my personal growth, I'll share with you that one of the things that has come to my being is an awareness that change happens one person at a time. And what needs to change first is my perspective, my response, and my, I would say, inclination sometimes to react, as we all do when we're triggered. So on this lovely, settled, rainy day, I would ask you all to bring it down a notch, to give others the gift of your active listening, of your non-reactivity, but your responsiveness, to engage in a way that inspires others, inspires others to want to join us in leading change across the institution. As leaders, our presence, what we say, what we do, the alignment between our words and our actions are more important than ever. And as individuals, we are going to have a greater impact, and we need to take responsibility for that. So cut down on the distractions, interact with each other in what I would call the most loving kindness approach that you can take. With friends, I have adopted the phrase loving latitude, to share a sense of grace with each other, to give each other the benefit of the doubt, to always assume best intention. And that said, I'm not asking that we all take a passive stance. There are things that are worth fighting for, but it is the way that we fight and the way we bring our awareness and presence to these moments. And even though our gathering is virtual today, I think we have all developed a sense of how to be more present, although I'm guilty too of turning off my screen and going and getting that snack or taking care of a little errand in the house. But to the extent that we can stay present and actively engage today, I think we owe that to each other. It's taken a lot of time. I've done events in the past, and I know that Latrice and her team, Barb Childs, Andrew, Ernest, everyone involved in this day has put a lot of energy into it. All of us here, we're here. That takes energy to take an extra half hour out of our day. But I think we've all developed the awareness of how to engage more deeply when we are virtual, and we need to do everything that we can to share that awareness with others. People are feeling Zoom fatigue. Everyone around us is fatigued. And if this can be a day when we can take a breath and focus and inspire each other, it is a gift. So I know that this may be wrapping up a few minutes early, and I see that as a gift to all of us to have maybe an extra 10 or 15 minutes before we launch into the day. If you can carry this calm energy for the next 10 or 15 minutes before we get into a high energy environment where there's a lot of people coming together and with all different levels of energy, again, trying to create a space of safety and respect and loving kindness. I know that's not something most people think about bringing to the workplace, but I would say that we need that more now more than ever. So I am going to sign off at this point and take a few moments myself before I jump back in to the day. But I am so honored that Latrice asked me to share a mindful moment and to breathe with you all. And before I sign off, I'll just say this, that one of the things that our team does is we arrive in the room and we also bookend by closing. So I'm going to, again, ask that we have a mindful closing and that we take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in and out. In and out. Last one. Breathe in and out. And I wish you all a wonderfully inspiring, lively, and creative day, full of joy, and full of, my word for the week is equanimity, staying calm in the face of challenge. Thank you.
What up, Seattle colleges? I'm talking north, south, central. When we link up, we unstoppable. Love this city. Don't you love this city? This city right here. This our city, throw your hands in the air.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, what a video. And I'm enjoying the music and I'm dancing around, and I know you couldn't see me, but I'm having a great time. Welcome to Engage 2020. I am Dr. Mary Jacob Nash, Dean of Student Life at North Seattle College. I use she, her pronouns, and I am so honored to be with you today, to be your MC and host for the morning. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to Seattle College's annual convocation of faculty and staff. This is our first virtual convocation, which means we are participating from all over Washington. As such, I want to underscore the importance of honoring the land of this region in which we all live, work, and play. On behalf of Seattle Colleges, I acknowledge the land we all inhabit today as the unceded ancestral home of the Coast Salish people, the traditional home of all tribes and bands with the Duwamish, Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. Without them, we would not have access to this gathering and to this dialogue. I ask that we take this opportunity to thank the original caretakers of this land, past and present. Closed captioning is available today. You can turn it on at the bottom of your screen. We also have our ASL interpreters on video that you can pin. Today's program will be recorded and available to watch online via SCCTV. Special thanks to Central's Office of Strategic Partnerships for the use of their Believe 2.0 playlist. We will continue to groove to their tunes throughout the morning. I know some of you have asked about that in the chat. Thank you to Jay Meyer and the IT team for all their help preparing for managing the tech for today and every day. The IT team enables us to keep doing what we're doing right now, and we really greatly appreciate them. Remember, this is all new for all of us. This is a new situation, delivering convocation in a virtual manner. If everyone could just remember that we need some space and grace today and as we move forward, that would be great. 2020 has brought a spirit of resilience, togetherness, and self-reflection. Our goal today is to highlight the power of collective by focusing on community. Community is who we are. It is in our mission and our values. It is woven into the fabric of our organization. Today, we invite everyone to reflect on more than just our campus communities. Let's embrace each of the communities that hold parts of our identities. Before we begin, let's acknowledge Seattle College's Board of Trustees. Our board chair, Steve Hill. Our vice chair, Rosa Peralta. Trustees, Teresita Batayola, Louise Shernan, and Robert M. Williams. I would also like to acknowledge Seattle College's executive leadership team. Dr. Sean Pan, Chancellor. Dr. Shameen Crawford, Interim President, North Seattle. Dr. Sheila Edwards-Lang, President, Seattle Central. Dr. Rosie Raimondo Cherensap, President, South Seattle. Also joining us, Dr. Kurt Buttleman, Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Success. Jennifer Dixon, Vice Chancellor for Human Resources. Choi Halliday, Vice Chancellor for Finance and Operations. Carrie Howell, Vice Chancellor for Advancement. Malcolm Grothy, Associate Vice Chancellor for Workforce. Cindy Ritchie, Associate Vice Chancellor for Information Technology. Ernest Phillips, Associate Vice Chancellor for Communication and Strategic Initiatives. And Steve Leahy, Director of Government Relations. Thank you. A long-standing tradition at Convocation is a greeting from our employee unions. Today we have present Annette Stouffer, President of the American Federation of Teachers, Local 1789, and Cody Hyatt, President of the American Federation of Teachers, Seattle Professional Staff. And first, I'll have Annette come on.
Good morning from our faculty union office on Capitol Hill, and welcome to the strange virtual world of Fall Quarter 2020. I'm Annette Stouffer, President of AFT Seattle Community Colleges Local 1789. It's my honor to represent our incredible faculty and to speak to you this morning. Given that the theme of this convocation is engage in community, I want to talk about things that are vital to engaging our union and educational community. I see that the letters in the word engage will serve my purposes just fine. E is for equity. When we have racial equity in our educational institutions, we build the workforce needed to serve our diverse population of students. Their success is our reason for being. N is for contract negotiations, and we're in the midst of those right now. The faculty have spoken clearly about our priorities for a new contract, improved salaries and workload equity, among other important goals. We are committed to reaching those goals. G is for graduation. Students need to be able to reach their educational goals in a timely manner. Our colleges need to provide the excellent educational programs and support services that get students to the finish line. A is for anti-austerity decisions that move us forward to a strong post-COVID future. Austerity greatly slows recovery and multiplies the harm that our community suffers. Investment is the way forward. G is for guaranteeing that our colleges will be healthy long into the future so that we continue to play our vital role in transforming lives and supporting strong community. And E, the most important possibly, is for elections. Vote this fall as if our colleges and community depend on the outcome. There is no question that they do. Thank you, and have a safe and healthy fall quarter.
Thank you, Annette. Next, we have Cody.
Good morning, Seattle Colleges. Convocation's an annual event we look forward to, just like the MLK observance at Mount Zion's Baptist Church, where we kick off the new year refreshed and recommit ourselves to our vision and mission and goals. This year feels like 5 years in one. You have responded to the challenges admirably in a way that reflects the depth of your character. You have experienced furloughs, seen coworkers leave the college unexpectedly and expectedly. We have experienced the impacts of 2 public health crises that ravage the fabric of our society as COVID and racism exacerbate the structural inequities in America and our beloved city. To ask more of you is a big ask. When our collective reserves feel exhausted, it's a tough ask, but I'm going to ask anyways. First, to pro staff, make safety a priority inside and outside Seattle colleges. Take care of yourself, and in turn, take care of others. Thanks to everyone in the Return to Work group who helped implement the campus entry procedures and training, especially Crystal Olson, our district-wide manager of environmental health and safety. Engage in your campus safety committee to continuously improve safety and well-being at our colleges. Secondly, do not sleep on the upcoming PeopleSoft CTC Link implementation. This statewide project affects virtually all facets of our operations. You may think that just because you don't have a direct entry into our legacy system that it doesn't affect you, but basically any piece of paper or thing that we DocuSign has to be recorded in our system, and the changes inherent in this project will rival our conversion to remote operations. Thanks to the pro staff in the CTC Link project team for working across the campuses and with the state board to get us this far and beyond go live. Engage in your department process, in how your department processes will be impacted by CTC Link. Take the training and be a part of the change. Finally, to the administration charged with balancing the budget. Our colleges have experienced net operating losses for years as enrollments decline. The number of number of unrepresented administrators has increased. As headcount has been reduced across faculty, classified, and professional staff, we urge the administration to have headcount reductions be equitable across employee groups that include your cabinet level positions. My thanks and commendations to Central for being an early adopter of this. And we look forward to your partnership. Please engage with your labor partners. We stand ready to engage with the colleges and do well for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. We have almost 2,000 faculty and staff at the Seattle colleges. This year, we are recognizing 3 of our colleagues with the Trustees Lifelong Learning Award. The award celebrates their outstanding commitment and dedication to the students, their jobs, and working together. Each of today's awardees will receive $1,500 toward that goal. The awards have special meaning because the nominations are submitted by their colleagues. I'm going to welcome our board chair, Steve Hill, to present the awards.
Good morning, everyone. First, I acknowledge and appreciate the leadership from Annette and Cody. And I very much appreciate working with them. This award is one of the best duties of the board chair. The board gets to formally recognize the accomplishments of the faculty and staff who makes Seattle colleges great. My only regret is that I can't do this in person. As the board all read these nominations, they underscore the value that each of us can bring to our community. We need to all keep this in mind as we work through the challenges of this year. In my opinion, these awards should inspire all of us to engage more in our community. These awards, Lifelong Learning Awards, were established in 1991, and they're intended to support the intellectual and professional growth of Seattle colleges. With that in mind, it's my pleasure to honor this year's awardees. Okay, there we go. So the first award is I'll just. I think what I'm gonna do is just go. Okay, so Karen Stuhldreher is a full-time faculty in gender and women's studies at North. Maria Ailes is a client service manager in IT services, and Leanne O'Connell is the scholarship and program director for advancement. So now let's learn a little bit more about this year's outstanding awardees. Karen Stuhldreher has been a faculty member at North Seattle for 24 years. She is recognized by her peers and students as a tireless champion for social justice, diversity, and inclusiveness, as well as creating North's Gender and Women's Studies Department in 1996. For the past 2.5 decades, Karen has developed multiple core courses, coordinated study programs, mentored countless students and interns, and has helped North become a nationally recognized for its inclusivity. Outside the classroom, Karen chairs the U.S. Cultures Subcommittee of the Curriculum and Academic Standards Committee and the Gender and Women's Advisory Committee. She has done this for the duration of her tenure at North. Karen has served on the Faculty Senate, the Diversity Action Committee, and as a faculty advisor and co-advisor to a considerable number of student groups. Please join me in celebrating Karen Stuhldreher. Congratulations, Karen. Again, I wish I could give you an award in person. Next is Maria Ailes. Maria has more than 25 years of service to Seattle Central College. She is an IT specialist, and she has developed a reputation as a knowledgeable, dedicated leader and a respected subject matter expert on all of Central's technology issues. As the leader of Central's IT operations, Maria has become the day-to-day voice of campus IT and its chief advocate within the district. Since assuming the leadership of Central's IT operations, Maria is credited with greatly reducing turnaround time on troubleshooting requests, as well as fostering a department culture of collaboration and innovation within Central's technology support team. Please congratulate Maria Ailes. And Maria, congratulations to you. And again, I wish I could be there in person to give you this award. The final award is going to Leanne O'Connell. Since beginning at South Seattle College in 2014, Leanne has developed a reputation as an inclusive leader and committed advocate for racial equity. Beginning as a financial literacy specialist within the Asian American, Native American Pacific Islander Center, Leanne went on to serve as a scholarship manager at Seattle Central College before assuming her current role as a scholarship director in advancement. Throughout the COVID crisis, Leanne has been a key advisor to the district's emergency fund committees at each college and has developed to design and implement processes for students to apply for and receive financial support. At the same time, her efforts to drive scholarship applications across the districts are outpacing the previous year despite the pandemic. Again, please join me in congratulating Leanne O'Connell. And Leanne, I wish I was could give you this award in person, and congratulations to you. So that concludes my remarks. I just want to close by encouraging all of us to stay safe and please vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Hill, and congratulations again to our 2020 awardees. We are fortunate to have many great people guiding our organization, modeling what it means to show up for others, and to be a beacon in the community. It is now my pleasure to welcome each of our Seattle College's presidents. We will have words from each president. North Seattle Interim President, Dr. Shameen Crawford. Seattle Central President, Dr. Sheila Edwards-Lang. And South Seattle President, Dr. Rosie Raimondo Charansa. Dr. Crawford.
Good morning and greetings on behalf of North Seattle College, the home of the Pacific Tree Frogs. Welcome to another academic year and to another year of improving our community by creating opportunities and changing the lives of our citizens through higher education. While our task is often daunting and at times feels and seems thankless, know that as educators, we are, as Pulitzer Prize winning author Robert Frost would say, the awakeners. Students come to our colleges year after year to be enlightened and to garner the tools necessary to earn a living wage and to take care of themselves, and in many cases, to take care of generations of their families. They come with hope of pursuing their academic goals while being treated fairly and equitably, being viewed as a human being with dreams and aspirations. We have all been, at one time or another, that student. You know, Malcolm X once said that education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. North Seattle College faculty and staff are committed to teaching and learning, promoting and enhancing equity, diversity and inclusion, and having a greater economic impact for the ever-changing community we have served for 50 years. Let's work collaboratively and with laser focus to make this academic year one of remembrance and one of hope for the future. And I'll leave you with this. Doctor of Jurisprudence and former First Lady of the United States of America, Michelle Obama, once said, and I am paraphrasing, that if we empower ourselves and others with a good education, then they should and can get out there and use that education to build a country worthy of boundless promise. Thank you all for being here, and for all that you do for our students. Have a wonderful academic year.
Thank you, Dr. Crawford. Next, we will have Dr. Edwards Lang.
Good morning, and thank you for being here with us today, sharing and getting prepared for the start of the 2021 academic year. I appreciate moments like this that force us to pause from our hectic routines, catch our breath, and think intentionally about our path ahead. It's especially important now as we are in remote operations for the most part and are challenged to maintain the community fellowship that we normally have. We're facing incredible challenges as we start this academic year: a seemingly unending global pandemic, a sputtering local and national economy that has resulted in significant budget cuts, and a racial reconciliation that is finally confronting the long history of anti-Black racism in this country. It's hard to be optimistic in the face of such challenges, but I ask that we do so as we begin this year. We have seen dark times in the past, and we've always come out stronger and more committed to our mission as a college. Our colleges are strong, resilient, creative, adaptable, and most importantly, committed to our mission. So as we're going through rough waters this year is also going to be one of new opportunities. We will see our first class of the recently expanded Seattle Promise program, which will bring hundreds of new faces and voices to our classrooms. We're going to see continued growth in our population of Running Start students as more parents and students see the value and quality we offer for their education. And we are continuing the work of eliminating equity barriers to student success as we implement guided pathways or Seattle Pathways with equity at the center of what we do in that program. So today, I encourage you to keep our students and our community at the center of what we do. And as you attend the breakout sessions and catch up with your colleagues and coworkers, remember the importance of the work that we do in our students' lives and in our community. I also encourage you to look further in the distance at the faint outline of the beloved community that we are striving to create. Each step we take must be forward towards that goal. So thank you again for participating today and for giving me this opportunity to share some thoughts with you.
Thank you, Dr. Edwards Lang. Next, we have Dr. Raimondo Cherensap.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, and happy to see your names, if not your faces, in the chats. Greetings to my colleagues across the district. My name is Rosie Raimondo Cherensap, and I serve as the president at South Seattle College and also as the vice chancellor for equity, diversity, inclusion alongside our 3 associate VP colleagues. Though I'm beginning only my 3rd year as president, this is my 21st convocation in the district. I would have been welcoming you to South's campus today, but let me virtually welcome you instead with some South hospitality. So I encourage you to find some good food wherever you are today, because we probably would have been enjoying a lunch together. I encourage you to find time to get outside despite the weather that I see, because I would have been encouraging you to explore our arboretum or Chinese garden with a stroll in the afternoon. I encourage you to have some wine maybe at 4:31 p.m. As we probably would have had a casual gathering at the Northwest Wine Academy showcasing some of our student-made wine on campus today, one of the things I miss the most about being in person. One of my favorite quotes is by E.M. Forrester as the epilogue to his novel Howard's End. Only connect. I think of how profound these 2 words are today as we navigate divisions and literal separation in our communities due to the twin pandemics of COVID and the fight to end racial justice and inequity. Only connect but stay 6 feet apart. Only connect as we have to rely on technology like Zoom for so much human interaction these days. Only connect while acts of divisive violence against the Black community continue to play out on a daily basis despite fervent calls for unity, change, and healing. Only connect as we must remain remote from one another today. But in actuality, Connection is the most powerful antidote to the challenges that we face today. Connection to the greater community and understanding how individual choice serves the collective health. Connection to the experiences of others, to understand how very differently one's reality may be from another's. And as a district, we've worked hard over the last few years, to define what it means to be connected or not sometimes at different colleges or at the Siegel Center. But breeding connection versus disconnection is what I hope to see for our community this year. So at South, we will continue to focus our journey to become an anti-racist college, while we also continue to evolve our remote learning approaches, and in our distinctive professional technical programs offer some specialized in-person instruction that adheres to COVID safety standards, of course. And like the other two colleges in Siegel Center, we're focusing on budget discussions that will enable us to educate our community into the future in light of the state revenue declines and the impacts of COVID, and at least for us, the long-term closure of the West Seattle Bridge will have on continuing and future enrollment choice in our region. So I look forward to the ways that we will connect and engage today and over this year, and in service to the students who are at the heart of our work. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you, Dr. Raimondo Cherensap. I believe I can hear your children in the back. It's wonderful. Again, an inspiration to us all who are parents. Thank you. Now we're going to have a 5-minute break, which will allow you to stretch and refresh and go get yourself maybe perhaps another cup of coffee. We'll see you in 5.
Hold you tight. Will you be my summer love? Will you be my summer love? When the moon is glowing warm, will you be my quiet storm? Will you be my summer love? Will you be my summer love? When a thunderstorm arrives, we will run and hide inside as thunder rumbles from the sky. There'll be lightning in our eyes. Will you be my summer love? 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 When the sun is shining bright, will you let me hold you tight? Will you be my summer love? Will you be my summer love? When the moon is glowing warm, will you be my quiet storm? Will you be my summer love? Will you be my summer love? When a thunderstorm arrives, we will run and hide inside as thunder rumbles from the sky. There'll be lightning in our eyes. Will you be my summer love? Will you be my summer love? Will you be my summer love? Will you be my summer love?
Hello, everyone. I hope that you had a fantastic break, and I hope that you had a chance to refill your coffee cup and take a time to stretch, because it's now time to recognize one of the many transformative initiatives at Seattle Colleges. I'd like to welcome one of our vice chancellors, two of our vice chancellors, Kurt Buttleman and Jennifer Dixon. Dr. Kurt?
Thanks, Mary. It was very nice to connect with you briefly during rehearsal this morning. Haven't seen you in a while. Those little times to engage are really important these days. And good morning to everyone else in attendance. Seattle Colleges is one of 19 board member colleges for the League for Innovation in the Community College. This is a select group of colleges recognized for ongoing innovation in higher education. Each year, the League honors one initiative program from each of the board member colleges. This year, it is my pleasure to announce that the 2020 Innovation of the Year Award for Seattle Colleges goes to the Inclusion Advocate Program, and to ask Jennifer Dixon to share more about that program.
Thanks, Kurt. The Seattle Colleges Inclusion Advocate Program, developed with permission and modified after Oregon State University Search Program, is designed to create a standard anti-bias process to build a rich, diverse workforce that reflects the diversity of the students and the communities we serve. Inclusion advocates are existing Seattle College employees who volunteer all of their time. Employees who wish to serve apply and are then receive 2 full days of training, and then that is followed up by twice quarterly district-wide meetings and trainings. Trained inclusion advocates participate in all levels of the hiring process as non-voting members to guide committee members to recognize and avoid unconscious bias. Inclusion advocates work in conjunction with the search committee chair, hiring manager, and human resources to affirm the college's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Pictured here are some of the many leaders who have helped get this program started. There are many more people who contribute and serve to inclusion as inclusion advocates. I will read the names and recognize all of our trained advocates. Please reach out to them and thank them for their tireless work. Kurt, do you want to help?
Yeah, Jennifer and I are going to share the name reading. There's a lot of names, lots of people involved in this. I'll start. Danza Benitez, Chelsea Berry, Judy Blair, Kevin Bowersox Johnson, Julia Bouchon,
Sheila De Leon, Yoshika Hardin, Valerie Hunt, Kelly Johnson, Maria Kang,
Lynn Caney, Lydia Card, Robin Leeson, Aaron Lewis, Kimberly McCrae,
Jessica Narosi, Rochelle Saidi, Jingsong Shah, Kurt Buttleman, and Rebecca Cheng.
Rebecca Hansen, Sylvia Juarez, Alyssa Agnello, Ariana Bates, William Brown,
Jesse Cooley, Josh Ernst, Ona Fisher, DeAndre Fisher,
Elijah Gerard, Melissa Grinley, Carly Ikibara, Aaron Korngable, Eustace Mazzilla,
Yosef Magharban, Brian Palmer, Melissa Pond, Ann Richardson, and Brianne Sanchez,
Skylar Schmidt, Betty Williams, Odessa Woodley, Deanne Aris, Scott Bean,
Annalie Brubarger, Dorian Chin, Catherine Colo Vermeulen, Abigail Dunn, and Savannah Daniels,
Bob Dela Cruz, Stephanie Guy, Betsy Hasagawa, Michelle Henry, Catherine Hinkleman. This is a long list, Jennifer.
I know, it's such a great list of amazing individuals. And now to conclude the list, we have Keith Huang, Sayumi Array, Laura Kingston, Kar Schwartz, Andrea Sloan, and Yuki Tamaro. Thank you everyone for your tireless efforts.
Great program. Thank you. Back to you, Mari.
Thank you. Now I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Dan Johnson. Dr. Johnson began his tenure in Washington State Community College System in 1979. Dan served in various roles at several institutions, including what he refers to his last, South Seattle College. He is currently my colleague, the Dean of Student Life, and the Student Complaints Officer at South. Among Dan's previous assignments were tenures as Dean for Student Success, Edmonds Community College, Director of Multicultural Services and Student Life, Lower Columbia College, Director of Multicultural and Student Services, Olympic College, and Director of Student Life, Spokane Falls Community College. Dr. Dan Johnson encourages a comprehensive approach to student achievement that is met by 1, facilitating student success in the academic arena, 2, providing opportunities for co-curricular engagement, and 3, leadership development. These are essential competencies for students matriculating through our community and technical colleges. Dan cites instruction by dedicated faculty essential services provided by college divisions and a commitment to hard work by students as necessary components for student success. Most importantly, Dan believes student achievement is attributed to a community that fosters an environment of equity, diversity, and inclusion for all students, staff, and faculty. Please welcome my friend, my colleague, Dr. Dan Johnson.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Mary. And I'd like to thank the Convocation Committee for including me in this Convocation 2020. I want to thank Latrice for reaching out to me. When Latrice reached out to me to be the keynote speaker for Convocation, to say that I was honored was an understatement. I've been to a lot of convocations in my tenure in community college education. However, I had never been the keynote. I've seen a lot of keynotes. I've been present for a lot of keynotes, but never was I asked to present a keynote. So with that in mind, the honor was obvious. And I asked Latrice, how many people will be there? She said, well, we have 625 faculty and staff in our community college district. And just out of curiosity, I say, so how many did you ask any others to present the keynote before me? She said, yeah. And I say, how many? And she said 620. So, considering I'm the last, the expectations today may be a little bit lowered. But no, I hope I can give you something that you could take in creating community. And the topic today, community in these unprecedented times. And so when I was asked to do this, I had to think, how will I present this? So I called on one of my greatest authors and activists to inspire my message today, that being James Baldwin. James Baldwin often wrote of a community in Harlem that was analogous to the community that I grew up in, Houston, Texas, where there was such a connection. That community was obvious. That community was comprised of people who knew anyone. As wide-ranging as the community was, people established that by knowing everybody. Oftentimes, much to my chagrin, because I could be a mile away from home and I could be, the old people at that time would refer to as cutting up. And I would be admonished there and also admonished when I got back home. That community connection still exists this day because a lot of the parents and grandparents who were around when we were young are now passing on. And they're still passing on. We have a email stream, communication stream, that everyone is informed. So everyone who's grown up in that community shows up at the funeral, and everyone who's spread out across the country sends their condolences. Being a member of this community in the Jim Crow South, you had to have a certain degree of persistence and resilience to be able to deal with the times. You know, there was a lot of things that we didn't know that we were disadvantaged of because our community was constructed in a way that we had each other, that we can always make sure that we express the empathy and show the support to make us get through. With that in mind, I wanted to present this keynote today by using quotes by James Baldwin that will really convey to us what it is we should be focused on as we continue to create community and maintain that connection in our district of Seattle colleges. And yesterday, I asked Mary Piper to take me time, that is, to make sure that I wouldn't have any technical glitch right off the bat. My slides won't advance. So today as my slides are advancing, I just wanted to say, the first quote is from James Baldwin: "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." We have to look at the budget situation that we're in right now, something that's there. It can't be changed immediately, but we have to work diligently to make sure that we approach these changes that need to be done in a way that's going to be conducive to us maintaining that community and making sure that the people who are impacted are being respected. We definitely couldn't change a pandemic that has resulted in numerous deaths, and for us resorting to remote operation where we don't maintain that connection that we have on a daily basis to where we can show the camaraderie that we've established throughout the district. But in the face, we have folks who have been in the instruction for years, but how many are well-versed at giving the instruction virtually or conducting instruction virtually? What about our students? Students high school, college. And now when you get the opportunity, you can't, quote unquote, go to college. How adapted are they to learning in a virtual environment? Those things can't be changed, but we have to face those changes and do whatever we can to make sure that we establish it in a way that supports community. The challenges in the moment. The time is always now. How often have we heard kicking the can down the road? How often we engaged in the process of kicking the can down the road? Well, the moment is now. And the challenges that we're facing right now has to be dealt with right now. We need to understand how can we best create an environment and a community where our students can be successful, but at the same time, creating the respect for our faculty and staff on campus to let them know we understand the challenges that you're facing. As a leadership team, we're going to be facing these challenges the best way we can now to make sure that we can persevere in the future. Challenges is now. How do we do it? Incorporate different voices is something that's essential to create that air of community. Because if people aren't included, they're not going to be apt to be a part of that community. So accept the challenge because it is now. This is one that I really like to James Baldwin, and it's often the case when we're faced with challenges. In times of prosperity, friends will be plenty. In times of adversity, not 1 in 20. Think about the connections that you have on a daily basis where you're interacting with your colleagues, you're joking around, you're with work situations, you're able to call on folks to help solve problems. Now we are in these unprecedented where our communications has been relegated to chat sessions on Zoom. Waves at the end of Zoom meetings. What are they feeling? Are we empathetic? Are we empathetic to people who have been, are we empathetic to people who are under the threat of being laid off? Are we empathetic to the people who have been impacted by furloughs? We reach out to establish that connection to make sure that we create community. We are in adverse times, and the people that you spoke to when we were on campus and present are the same people you should be reaching out to now, just to check in, not on a Zoom meeting, not in a business related function, but to just say, how are you doing? That is creating community. James Baldwin said, I have to make you conscious of the things you don't see. When we're making these decisions and we're looking at it from the perspective of our eye, are we taking into consideration what the view is from the folks that are going to be impacted? Oftentimes people see things that as a supervisor I may not see, as a student or a faculty member or student I don't see. Welcome that consciousness that they are bringing to you and listen to it to be able to say, I understand, willing to listen at you in order to create community. If we don't see these things and we just and apply what we feel is right for certain situations, creating community is going to be difficult because we're not seeing the same things. Be conscious of the things that you don't see. James Baldwin said, I can't believe what you say because I see what you do. When we make a profession that we're going to do something, when we're going to create community, when we're going to respect all voices, faculty, staff, or students, and we don't do that, what are the consequences? How do they feel? Is this some more bull crap? Should I believe anything that you say? You profess that we're going to be an anti-racist institution. You profess that we're going to employ a racial equity model. But do our policy, do our actions, do our procedures reflect that? If you can't conveniently say yes, how can I believe that we're going to actually engage in those efforts if what I see isn't what you're saying? Creating community means walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And I want to end with this. This quote from James Baldwin is so relevant now. Since we ages when silence is not only criminal, suicidal, I have been making as much noise as I can. Here and on. In fact, I just returned from a country, he said, Germany, who was made notorious by a silent majority not so long ago. I tell you folks, if there was ever a time when being silent was criminal and suicidal, it is now. Locally, regionally, nationally, if there was ever time to raise a collective voice to deal with things that are happening in the country and in our college, it's now. Students who have complaints, they're not trying to get anyone in trouble. They just want to be heard. Where is the silent majority is coming to support students to say, how can we help you reserve this? Or where is the reciprocity from staff or faculty to say, in order for you to be successful, I need to engage you in this conversation to ensure that you are being heard, and we're going to make sure you're going to be successful. When we have staff with issues, personnel or otherwise, and we discount their voice, who's there to speak up for them to make sure that their voice is heard? But more than that, in the upcoming election, I've heard vote, vote, vote several times this morning. We must have to vote. Not only should we vote, We must speak out. We must encourage folks. We need to talk about the inequities that's going on in this country. We need to employ others to speak out. And we all need to join in a collective voice to make sure our voices are heard, to make sure that we can impact some change. Because again, it won't be only criminal, it will be a suicidal at this time. So with that in mind, I just wanted to say, we need to be intentional. We need to listen and understand what our staff, what our faculty is saying about, if you want me to believe in community, you need to express that you're really willing to create community. We need to support folks and express empathy. Hey, there are people, again, that are being really impacted by the decisions that need to be made in our district. Again, it has to happen. The challenge is there. The changes have to be made. But how do we do it? Do we do it in a way that expresses empathy and support? Even though they may not longer be with us, they're still a part of our community because they once were. You don't get excommunicated out of the community because you were laid off. You can still show empathy and support. It's important to make those connections other than just in a Zoom meeting where we wave by and we discuss business, to let folks know, hey, we're still a part of community. And I just want to see how you're doing. How do we connect with students who have food insecurities? What do we do to support our students and make those connections to make sure that they're being seen after as we deal with these unprecedented times? And then we just need to show the resilience that we need to establish to say, the challenge is here, changes have to be made. But through this, we're going to get through this by creating community and dealing with the challenges now so we can be extremely successful in the future. What I want you to leave with today is to creating that community. Again, thank you for your attention and patience today. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Ooh, Dr. Dan, that was so inspiring. I thank you so much for sharing those words. And I'm going to quote Annette Stouffer from the chat where she said, "You are the right voice at this time." Thank you for reminding us to speak out and not be silent, to be a collective and to engage, which is our theme today, engage in community. Thank you. Next, please join me in welcoming our leader, Chancellor Sean Pan.
Good morning. Welcome to the 2020 convocation. I'm so very happy to see everyone. Before I start, I want to take a moment to thank Dr. Johnson for your voice, for your very important right voice. I want to, in the next few minutes, amplify a few important points you made. We're opening this academic year with a lot of uncertainty. While acknowledging this reality, we want to take a moment to appreciate our collective energy and excitement of new beginnings. Although we are not gathered at the Brockes Center at South as planned, we have adapted. We're celebrating the new academic year together virtually. Truthfully, we're connected through the computer screens, but more importantly, our unyielding commitment to our mission and shared hope for a better future. This morning, I want to speak out about a little bit about Seattle Colleges, where we are, and our goals and plans for the coming year. Before I begin, I want to welcome new faculty and staff. Like you, I did not anticipate that you would begin your new job under the current circumstances, but please know we're very happy you are here. For returning faculty and staff, it is a pleasure to see everyone. A wise person recently remarked, "The crisis review character." This statement relates to individuals and organizations. Throughout this very extremely stressful, tumultuous several months, I observed the special character of Seattle colleges. I saw selflessness, dedication, focus, professionalism, tenacity, creativity among our faculty and staff. Our faculty have to redesign courses and teach in multiple modalities, many for the first time. Our staff in student services, IT, HR, facilities, communications, and many other units had to re-engineer the process of serving students and employees. Members of the emergency response team across the college quickly came together to manage the pandemic crisis, communicate important updates, and strategize on how to best to protect the safety well-being of employees and students. Together, we launched a robust response to mitigate the impact of COVID-19. Even with reduced personnel, the IT division increased its level of rapid and responsive support. With help, and they have distributed about over 1,000 Chromebooks, more than 250 hotspots, and 100+ webcams to students and employees across the colleges to help address the digital divide. With support from the college, the district-wide commencement committee designed, executed an unforgettable, unstoppable campaign to celebrate our class of 2020 in a very special way. This included videos of student graduates, campus drive-through celebrations, and a commencement in the box and media coverage. 41 faculty members attended 2 sessions of the 2020 Summer Institute. Together with the facilitators, faculty members shared best practices for innovative teaching learning to help close the equity gaps and improve student learning and success. The Seattle Promise team secured 1,763 applications with 80+ Promise scholars from 17 Seattle public high schools attending Seattle colleges this fall. Fall to winter retention rates approaches 85%. The Seattle pathways have been made significant strides, including refinement of the 8 areas of study and associate academic programs, English-directed self-placement and accelerated pathways, a single database to warehouse academic information, adopting cohort advising by areas of study, progress on common coding and reporting, and renewed emphasis on removing barriers for BIPOC students. Starfish has become a popular tool for students to stay connected with faculty staff across the colleges. In the first 16 months of our Starfish implementation, some 53,000 appointments have been scheduled between students and advising support services. And more than 36% of the self-appointments are actually made by the students themselves. More than 360 staff members are using Starfish to engage and serve students. That includes tutoring, financial aid, appointments, and many other services. CTC Link has become the new database, new data management system for all Washington community and technical colleges is scheduled to go live 5 months from now on February 22nd, 2021. The CTC Link core team and collaborating staff administrators across the colleges have all remained very focused in spite of the pandemic interruptions. I'm happy to report through their work, the initial work set up and data testing continued progress well. This work will move into high gear in these final months up to the deployment. I do encourage everyone to complete the required training associated with your roles and job responsibility. We must get this right. This system provides the basis for other systems and needs to be the top priority in the coming year. Seattle College Foundation and staff responded to the emergency by raising $425,000 emergency funds, which was or being distributed to students who experienced job losses, food insecurity, or IT connectivity issues. Thank you for all the donors, especially to all of our employees who gave so generously. I can cite many more examples of these amazing acts of courage, ingenuity, and cross-functional collaboration. This demonstrates convincingly that we collectively possess the spirit, the grit, and ingenuity to withstand the impact of a global pandemic. When we work together, as Dr. Johnson just said, when we work together as a community, we can rise to any challenges coming our way. We must also express our deepest appreciation to another group, that is our students. Throughout these stressful times, students are our unsung heroes. They rode with the punches instead of giving up. Many have to overcome numerous obstacles, including lack of a computer or reliable internet connectivity, at least for the first few months. Yes, there were glitches and problems for certain, but overall, our faculty, staff, administrators, and students performed near miracles in face of sudden, unprecedented challenges. We have a video to show you.
Guys, today is a super special day. Guys, today is a super special day because today is the day that I graduate college. Woo!
What up, Seattle colleges? I'm talking north, south, central. We link up, we unstoppable.
I am so proud of myself.
We did it. 2 years of long, hard work, 6 hours a day, 5 days a week.
My biggest inspiration for going to school and graduating has been my son.
Biggest supporter, I'm gonna have to go with my mom and my twin.
Thank you for everything they did for me.
This was really a moment throughout these 2 years of my progression and growth, not only as a student, but as a person.
One thing I'd like to say to my fellow graduates is that I'm really proud of you. You've made it to the end of this part of your journey, at least. And, congratulations.
I wish I really was at T-Mobile Park to congratulate you.
Congratulations. We are so proud of you. You have worked hard.
We know that you're going to go out in the world and make a difference. So congratulations. Keep it up.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Alicia.
This city right here.
On behalf of the Counseling Center, congrats, class of 2020.
Well, may you flourish as you pursue and continue to pursue your educational and career goals.
Your hard work and dedication led you to this well-deserved moment.
And I wish you vibrant empowerment with challenges as well as access to joy.
You are an inspiration to all that it's never too late to achieve your goals.
Melody is one of the few in my family to receive a Bachelor of Sciences in anything.
Know that I am in awe of your collective spirit and dedication to affect change in the world.
world.
I just want to say how incredibly proud we are of what you've accomplished.
Thank you for letting us be part of your journey.
Well, all right. Well, okay. Hey, this city right here. This our city, throw your hands in the air.
You're unstoppable.
You will do well if you do not let any challenges stop you ever. We are inspired by you. We're proud of you because you are unstoppable.
You see, our collective responses to the pandemic were indeed extraordinarily inspiring. For your hard work, your unstoppable spirit, and your remarkable resilience, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You may recall the first US positive case of COVID-19 was identified in Seattle in January. The ensuing pandemic outbreak totally disrupted our academic year, interrupted the rhythms of our teaching, learning, and turned everything upside down. Almost 7 months later, we have overcome a great deal of anxiety, fear, and dislocation. Perhaps we are much more better adjusted to the new reality. But this pandemic laid bare some of the ills of our society, and most serious disease is systemic racism. Ample research shows that Black, Latino, and Latinx, Native Americans, and Asians have borne the brunt of COVID-19 impact. As the year went on, we were shocked to see the brutal killings of Black people by police, from George Floyd in May and to Jacob Blake just last month. These are disturbing times for all of us. But we're especially painful for the BIPOC faculty, staff, students who are members of Seattle College's family. Many of our faculty, staff, and students participated in demonstrations expressing outrage, protesting systemic racism, demanding change, demanding justice. Our Board of Trustees and Chancellor's Executive Cabinet passed a resolution condemning racialized impact of COVID-19 and issued solemn statements that Black lives matter. Each of the colleges organized a series of conversations, sponsored virtual lounges for students and employees. Although there were considerable property damages and graffitis at the Seattle Central College, but the college and the team provided much needed support to student and community demonstrators. Where we at the district stand on the issue of equity, diversity, and inclusion is clear, resolute. But stating a position is far from being enough. We need to dig in, engage in difficult, tough conversations, and act on necessary changes. Too often we make decisions for reasons of routine practice or for the sake of convenience. That must stop. Otherwise, we will perpetuate institutionalized racism. As a higher education institution, we need to ask ourselves these questions. Do our policies, operational practices negatively impact BIPOC students and employees? Does our faculty and senior leadership rank, its makeup reflect student body community? How do we mitigate bias in teaching and learning in the classroom? Do students of color receive the kind of support in advising, counseling, financial aid, tutoring, or any other service that truly respond to their individual circumstances? Meaningful changes are imperative. Dismantling bias and racism cannot wait. Aside from the pandemic impact on how we deliver in teaching, learning, and student support, we also have contend with one of the worst economic downturns in our state, our country, and across the globe. In just about all sectors of businesses, we hear about closed business, furlough, job losses, long lines for unemployment insurance. Colleges and universities are not immune to this economic pandemic. I actually hesitated on whether to share this data, but the district community deserves to know this truth, this fact, that our 2019-2020 balance sheet shows expenditures of $6.6 million more than our revenue. Heading into next year, with projected decline in student enrollment, particularly in international student enrollment, and potential state cuts, our deficit could double or triple. So what do we do to address the short-term structural deficit and plan for longer-term recovery and sustainability? How do we balance the budget and leverage scarce resources to maximize student completion, and particularly for BIPOC students? These are indeed very tough questions. Perhaps one short-term measure is to review our organizational structure, realign, recalibrate our workforce with institutional priorities. We will use the guiding principles endorsed by the Strategic Budget Reduction Future Planning Task Force to help guide the difficult decision-making ahead of us. I do want to take a moment to express my appreciation to faculty staff who have sent me feedback on the work of the task force or the composition of the task force. I will reach out to our labor partners to review the task force composition before we reconvene the task force. For the long term, however, we must plan, we must organize. What I mean is this: we must devote sufficient energy resources to position the district for the new post-COVID-19 reality. Faculty staff across the colleges and my executive team and I have already initiated some of that work, and I want to share with you. One, we plan to expand e-learning offerings across the colleges. It is in our long-term best interest that we build a top-notch quality e-learning program. This includes investing in the necessary infrastructure, strengthening support, and professional development for faculty. The post-COVID-19 digital transformation has started across the higher education sector. We must catch up. We have already worked on recruiting greater percentage of Running Start students. In the coming quarters, we will become much more intentional, aggressive in recruiting Running Start students from area high schools. And then as I shared with you earlier, Seattle Promise is now open to all 17 Seattle public schools. This fall's enrollment has been very encouraging. We will continue to market, expand Seattle Promise program in the coming year. Seattle College's foundation, board, and staff are getting ready to launch a new campaign called Equity Cannot Wait. Its purpose is to raise funds to support students hit hardest by the pandemic and to support colleges' program priorities. We're reaching out to build partnership with local and national organizations. We're in conversation with Amazon and Google, making available internship opportunities for students in our computer science program with special focus on recruiting minority students. In addition, we're working with a national organization called Education Design Lab to bring an innovative program to the district. It will help dislocated workers to gain new skills through stackable micro-credentials. Because we have been embargoed to disclose the detail, I cannot share them today, but knowing the press release is scheduled for September 30th. balancing what is urgent versus what is important for the future is a difficult one because there are many unknowns and uncertainties, but we must learn and get good at it. As we practice this juggling act, we will likely make mistakes. But let's remember, there is no perfection in a pandemic. It is important, however, that we together, faculty, staff, administrators, our Board of Trustees remain resolutely focused on the students we serve. Stay collaboratively engaged and hold on to the belief that together we can and we will get through this. We will face our share of challenges indeed, but we have proven we're resilient, that when we work together, when we build a community, we can overcome, adapt, and thrive. We're here to kick off the fall quarter, but we will welcome new students, a new cohort of them, including Start students, Promise students, students with disabilities, students, international students, others. Because COVID-19 is not yet under control, we will continue instruction in different modalities, including virtual, hybrid virtual, and limited face-to-face with safety measures observed. Until further notice, most of the student services, IT services, and administrative support will continue to be conducted remotely. And while these services may be remote, we have worked hard. We will continue to do so to offer them as effectively as possible. You may remember a year ago at the 2019 convocation, I asked all of us to engage and focus on student retention. Today, a year later, in this new environment, my message remains the same. We need to continue to focus on increasing student course completion, persistent from quarter to quarter, and particularly for students who are impacted by COVID-19, particularly for BIPOC students. What will Seattle colleges look like in 5 years and 10 years? It is up to all of us. I have confidence that we can make our district better, stronger, because I know how deeply each of you is committed to serving the best interests of our students and how devoted you are to their success. The year 2020 does not have to be remembered as the year when we went in separate ways. Rather, let 2020 be remembered as the year that Seattle colleges came together. As I end my remarks this morning, I want to share a few powerful words by the late Congressman and civil rights leader John Lewis, who these words deserve our careful reflection. Democracy is not a state, it is an act, and each generation must do its part to build what we call the beloved community, a nation, a world society at peace with itself. Thank you. Thank you for your work, for your dedication, having a healthy, productive academic year. Before I turn it over to Maria, our wonderful MC, I want to remind all of us that today, Convocation Day, is a day for learning, reflection. After this special event, 4 breakout sessions will start at 10:30 and 16 workshops will start at 12:30. Each of these breakout sessions workshops provide a unique opportunity to learn, engage with fellow employees. I urge all of us, urge you to take advantage of these opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pan. Your leadership and inspirational words are necessary at this time to lead this amazing community of committed faculty and staff of the Seattle colleges. Thank you so much. As we move into our breakout sessions, along with our theme of Engage 2020, please remember to meet and engage with someone new, someone you haven't been able to work with yet. Today's program will continue in the new Zoom meeting rooms. Please reference the schedule and the descriptions that you were given and all the links to the Zoom for all of the day's sessions. seattlecolleges.edu/convocation. Thank you again for joining us this morning. I am so honored to have been here with you, and I thank you again. See you in the breakout sessions, everyone.